Welcome to the Unstuck podcast. I'm your host, Shawn Mynar. This weekly no-fluff mindset show arms you with the practical tools you need to get unstuck so you can get exactly what you want out of life. Remember, when you change your mind, your life will follow. Let's get into today's episode. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Unstuck podcast. I'm Shawn, your host on each and every episode of Unstuck. If this is your first episode, welcome. I am so happy to have you here. I think you're going to have a great time. If you have been coming back to the Unstuck podcast over and over again for, 77 episodes now, you're the best. Thank you so much. I am grateful to you all. Today is interesting because it is also Christmas of 2020. If you are listening to this remotely close to when it airs, this episode actually comes out on Christmas Day. But if you are listening to it remotely in that time frame, I hope you have a good Christmas. I hope you had a good Christmas. If that is something that you celebrate, and Happy New Year to everybody. It's going to be a great year. It really can't get any worse than 2020. So I think we're all going to have a great year in 2021. That much is a guarantee, I hope. So with that all being said, I wanted to have a little fun with this episode. It's something that I've wanted to chat about for quite a while, kind of waiting for the right time, partially. And then also is something I kind of always am talking about because we do talk a lot about mindset tools and energy tools on pretty much every episode of Unstuck. And it will come as no surprise to you then that these tools are things that I apply to all areas of my life, but really apply in my business. And over the next few episodes, I'm going to be more business focused in an effort to really share everything I can for the entrepreneurs out there to make sure that you all have the opportunity to see if you would be a good fit for my business mentorship program that is opening up very soon. If you are not an entrepreneur, you're still going to get a ton out of these episodes over the next few weeks, but just know that they're going to be more business focused than some of the other episodes of Unstuck, but hey, there's something to learn in all of this. So please don't pass them by simply because you're not an entrepreneur. Now, if you are, I really want you to listen and absorb this information I'm going to share with you over the next few weeks. Like I said, to see if you would be a good candidate for the mentorship program, Unstuck Entrepreneur. How will you know? Well, if what I'm saying resonates with you, if it sounds like something that you want to start incorporating in your business, or if you are starting to realize that you do have some mindset blocks around your business, or your energy is not quite where it needs to be to attract the business that you're looking to attract, if you're just ready to start your dream business or to grow and expand the business that you currently have into your dream business, then it's just up to you to feel that. As I share what I'm going to share over the next few weeks, no one can make the decision for you. But if it feels like it would be a good fit, if I am someone that you want to have by your side along the way, then great. That's awesome. And if not, that's great too. I'm so happy to have you here listening to the podcast, and maybe there will be another time in the future that works better. No big deal either way, but I do want you to have the resources and the information that you need to make the best decision for yourself, which is why I'm dedicating a few extra episodes to chat with you all. Before we get into today, I just want to remind you of those dates that are coming up specifically for entrepreneurs. The first and most important is January 1st, which is when the doors open early bird enrollment starts for Unstuck Entrepreneur to all of those who have raised their hand and said, hey, Shawn, I'm interested. Let me know more. And if I decide to join, I also want a coupon code. If that's you, then you need to get on the wait list if you are not already And those are the only people who are going to get that special offer and will have the opportunity to join before the public even knows about it. Head to unstuck.shawnmynar.com to get your name on that VIP waitlist before the 1st. After the 1st, you'll miss your opportunity. So before January 1st, 2021. And then also make sure, especially if you're on the fence or you're not sure if we're a good match or what I would even teach or if it resonates with you or if it's even what you need, then you want to be at the live workshop January 4th, 2021 at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So do the math in your area. 90-minute free live coaching call with me. We're going to go over the 9 different ways to make money in your business. This is not just the practical, tangible, step-by-step strategy, although we do go into that because I do love a little bit of strategy, but also combining that with the mindset that you need to have, the energy work that you need to be doing in order to attract abundance, in order to have the mindset of abundance. So getting rid of all those limiting beliefs around money, and then also the strategy that comes along with it once you've done that work. So 90 minutes with me, be there live if you can. Like, block it out of your schedule right now because you're going to want to be there live. The energy, the vibe, having everyone there together and asking questions and getting answers right there live is so much fun. I always just am on like this cloud the entire time. It's so great. That you can register for at shawnmynar.com/money workshop. shawnmynar.com/money workshop. That happens January 4th. And then your opportunity to enroll in Unstuck Entrepreneur January 2021 class will be January 4th to January 9th. Very short window. So don't miss it. Get on the wait list, get into the free live workshop. You can find out if it's the right thing for you. And even just what I'm going to share today, you will start learning more to see if we are a good fit to work together. All right, let's get into this. I'm going to take you behind the scenes of my business to share what I do from this like mindset and energetic perspective that we talk about so much here on Unstuck. It's really the whole basis for all of this that we share here in these episodes. But I want to see if I can explain to you how I use this specifically as an entrepreneur in my business that makes it so that I have fun every single day. I am not stressed out, really hardly ever. I mean, like little mini things that happen technology-wise or whatever, deadlines, things like that. But never am I extremely stressed out about my business in general. And it's also successful. I was able to create my definition of success, which we've talked about in the past, around my business. And so every single day, I feel that success and I get to live out that success and see it come in. We'll start with a little bit of background for those of you who don't know me that well. I've shared most of this story that I'm going to share right now in a previous podcast episode, the one on how I manifested my business. So you can go back and listen to that. It's probably in the 60s. Episode, somewhere between episode 60 and 69, perhaps. I don't know that for sure. Sorry, I didn't look it up beforehand. We'll have it linked in the show notes. How about that? But I do want to do it again just quickly so that you all know where I'm coming from, set the stage for anyone who hasn't heard it, or just be a reminder. My health story and my business story are kind of intertwined. So if you're someone who's heard my health story, then you will recognize some pieces of this story as well. So a lot of you know I got sick with a mystery illness that I now know was toxic mold exposure back in 2014, late 2014, I believe. Yes. And it took a long time to actually figure out what was going on with me. But when I started getting sick in that way, it really forced me to slow down, to become a different person. I literally couldn't do a lot of the things that I was used to doing. And I was so used to being a go, go, go kind of person, always doing something, always having a to-do list, never feeling like I could just rest, always being stressed out. And in 2014, I already had been an entrepreneur for almost 2 years. But before that business started in 2013, I was an operations manager for a big box gym, chain gym. And I had that role for about 8 years of my life. And it was so stressful. It shouldn't be. It was just a gym. Like I had to keep reminding myself, it's just a gym. No one's going to die if I'm not on it 24/7. But I was basically on 24/7. I would get phone calls in the middle of the night. And it was super stressful. So then when I started my own business, and then that became super stressful because I wasn't making money. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had no entrepreneurship experience or any training at all. I just wanted to not work in that super stressful environment or really ever work for anyone again. I wanted to work for myself, and I still do. It's like my driving force. So I wasn't able to truly pay my bills. I was racking up debt. It was, of course, stressful. And then when I got sick, which was now almost 2 years into my business, I had to figure out a way to let go of that stress. Like getting my stress level down and really working on my self-care and really trying to nourish my adrenals back to health became like a full-time job for me. So I was doing all of this stuff to really start training my body how to be out of fight or flight mode. And at that time, I committed to never, ever, ever let myself get that stressed again, because I knew how much havoc it was wreaking on my physical body, but also now I can see in doing this work, my mental health, my mindset, my energetic health, my spirit, it was crushing it all. So over time, I was able to let go of the forcing, the do, the struggle, the efforting, all that stuff in my business because I literally couldn't. I had to focus on my health and getting back to a place where I felt good. And I committed to a different way of approaching this whole entrepreneurship thing I had been thrown into. Well, not been thrown. I threw myself willingly and really excitedly into, and I found a different way. So now move into the fall of 2016, and there were 3 things that happened in a matter of months that changed everything for me and my business. And prior to fall of 2016, now almost 2 years into being sick and trying to run a business and trying to also not stress out about anything, I was $20,000 in debt. I really had to tone down the work that I was able to do. At the time, I was both a personal trainer and a nutritionist. I was a personal trainer still, even though it was no longer my passion, because it was something that paid some of the bills. Like it was income I knew was coming in. Even though it wasn't much, it was something. And then I wanted to be a nutritionist, but that was still early on along that path. And the income wasn't steady. I didn't know what I could expect to come in. I was still trying to get it all figured out. So I was doing both. 3 things happened in the fall of 2016. The first thing is I quit my side hustle as a personal trainer. The thing that I was holding on to because I knew I would get at least $1,000 to $2,000 and could pay some of my bills. I quit because I couldn't do it anymore. It was not lighting me up. It was draining my energy. I didn't want that. And I went all in into what I really wanted, which was to be a nutritionist and to help people with their health in that way. So I quit and totally focused on what I wanted. The second thing is I hired a coach. And as you all can tell from this story, I didn't have the money to hire a coach. I had no money. I was so broke, but I knew I needed another set of eyes and another brain on my business. I needed someone who had been there and done that and had the experience to have this outside perspective of my business and where I could go with it and what I could do and how I could get my clients to want to work with me and to get the right clients in my door and all of that stuff. So I hired a coach with money I didn't have. And the last thing I did is I began applying the mindset and energy work I was doing on my body to my business. So a lot of you know because I've talked about it on this podcast, but my mindset and energy journey began because of this illness, because I was sick and I was so down. I was so depressed. I didn't want to live anymore. It was just so bad. And I began doing this kind of work on my health, like with the focus, I guess, on my health and my physical body. That's how I got into all of this work. And it helped so much, so quickly. And so then I was taking that because obviously it was working. I was feeling better. I was starting to get well. Things were all looking up. I was starting to have more energy. Just everything was going so well because I had done this work along with my health protocol that I was on. That was like taking a really long time. And then this really amplified it. But then I started applying this work to my business. So just like, well, this is another part of my life that's not really going that well. I might as well just give it a go. So those are the 3 things I did within a matter of about 6 weeks for my business. And within 2 months of that little 6-week time frame, I had paid off that $20,000 in debt. I had a full schedule of nutrition clients with more and more contacting me to work with me every day. And I was having fun and I wasn't stressed out. It was all just working out. It was all flowing to me. My business was becoming what I wanted it to be, that prior to that, I was forcing and stressing about and efforting and grinding and doing, trying to get it to be that. And then when I let it go and I started doing the things that we're going to talk about today, that is when it all started coming together. And it's been that way ever since. That was 2016. So now 4.5 years later, here we are. So as I'm sure you can tell, and I'm sure you know, this is where my passion lies, especially when it comes to wellness entrepreneurs who are in that same boat, who are where I was, but prior to the fall of 2016, because I know where you've been and I know how to get you out of it. I know what needs to be done, and that's now what we're doing together in Unstuck Entrepreneur. And I'm going to share with you 13 things, or I don't know how many it is, like a lot. It might be 12, something like that. I'm going to share with you a lot of things that I did back then and still do to this day to keep my business stress-free, because I made that commitment to never get that stressed again and to never let stress wreak havoc on my physical, mental, and emotional health ever again. Also, things I do to keep myself in alignment with my business, to keep my business fun and exciting and not overwhelming and stressful. All things that are so, so important to me, some of my highest values. We're going to go over those today. Let's do it. I do want to just let you know, some of these are going to be repeats from that manifestation episode, how I manifested my business success. So keep that in mind. I'll go through those kind of quickly, but some are going to be new and I'll spend more time on those. The first thing to remember too, as we're going through these, I tried to put them in some sort of order, but I don't think it actually happened. But what I wanted to do is put them in order of mindset first. So the mindset tools I use first every day in my business before getting into the energy tools, because you can't tackle your vibration without trying to work on your mindset first and also. So we work on our mindset first, and then we continue to work on it as we start looking into more of the energetics of our business. But you have to start with your mindset, and that has to be something that you're willing and committed to working on every single day of your life. I do mindset work every single day of my life still to this day. And as I've said multiple times on this show, this isn't something where you just take this tool, maybe you do your homework for one night and then you think that your limiting beliefs are gone and you're a whole different person. No way. This is forever work. Constant, forever work. And it makes such a big difference when you commit to it being a new part of your everyday, a new part of your practice. So with that said, obviously the number one is going to be working on my BS, my belief system, which is quite often actual BS. I had to, so I did this and still do this all the time, prove my limiting beliefs wrong. I am constantly aware of my limiting beliefs. Yes, they are still there. Yes, they pop up at random times. Yes, they morph into different things. They're still there. And I am constantly noticing them, constantly calling them out, constantly proving them wrong. We all are still going to have this ego. And when you can recognize that and realize that and see how that's the part of you that is making you feel fear and making you want to just shut things down and not put yourself out there, it's trying to hold you back. You have to notice that that is the thing that's keeping you stuck. And you have the opportunity to not listen. You have the opportunity to change what's being said in your mind, what your thoughts are. You have the opportunity to do that every single moment of every single day. And that is what I do every moment of every day. Quite often, I am seeing these limiting beliefs pop up, and then I'm going through with whatever scary thing it was anyway, or I'm doing that thing anyway. That is what I call proving your limiting beliefs wrong. So that's the first thing, is really getting clear and always being conscious of my BS. And if this is new work to you, especially when it comes to your business or being an entrepreneur, the whole first module of Unstuck Entrepreneur is getting these limiting beliefs out, of really seeing your ego for what it is and what it's been telling you and why, and starting to get the wheels turning on how we can call out our belief system. So that's the whole first module and the whole first coaching call, live coaching call together. We'll go through that. The second thing, taking the focus off of myself and onto the people that need my help. This is so freaking powerful to really grasp as an entrepreneur. So often, without us even knowing it, and it's not because we're trying to be selfish or self-centered or anything like that, it's just the way our mind works, especially our ego works. We put the focus on ourselves, and that's not what we're doing here. That's not why we have a business. Having a business is about being in service of others, helping others in some way, shape, or form. And so if you are able to take the focus off of yourself and put it onto that dream client of yours and what they need your help with and why they need you and how their life will look and be changed by working with you or by your product or whatever it is a game changer. So for me, I realized that my work, my business, it's not about me. It's about the people that I want to help, those women out there who are struggling with their mental health, with their emotional health, with their physical health. And so every time I post, every time I record a podcast, every time I write an email, every time I book a session or I book a call or something like that, whatever I am doing in my business, it's not about me. It's about you. It's about you being the dream client that I want to work with and how I can help you. And so, yeah, sometimes it's scary to write a post or to send an email or to open up a new program for enrollment. It's scary, yeah, for sure, but it's not about me. It's not about those emotions of fear that are coming up in me. It's about being able to help you. And so then you get out of your own way when it becomes not about you. Number 3, I journal. Y'all know I was going to say this. I am such a journaler. I love to journal. I love to get my thoughts out onto paper. I am giving you tons of ideas on how to journal throughout the Unstuck podcast as well, because I think it would be great for a lot of people to be able to see their thoughts on paper. It's really a wonderful tool. But for me, when it comes to my business, and I have to admit, probably like 95% of my journaling is about my business. That's kind of my main focus in my journal. So some days it's writing out my affirmations, which are things that we will create together in Unstuck Entrepreneur. So I write out my affirmations, or I write out myself through my future eyes of what I want to happen, what my desires are. I write about it having already been through it and how amazing it was. Sometimes I just chat with the universe about my desires and what I'm looking to have help with, what I'm looking for signs about, anything like that. Sometimes I am writing like out all my ego thoughts, just letting all this crap out of my head that is trying to get in my way so that it can't get in my way anymore. And the one thing that is an absolute must that I do every single time I have something big going on in the way of like an enrollment period, a new program coming out, a new group coming in, anything that is kind of a big deal for my business, I spend a whole month, 30 days, dedicating my journal practice to writing about how that event, like that big thing, went. So for instance, right now I have an enrollment coming up for Unstuck Entrepreneur. So for 30 days, I'm in the middle of it now, I have been writing about how this new group is. The people that are in it, the vibe we have, how many people, how the enrollment went, how smoothly everything has been going, how much fun we're having. I'm writing about it all now as if it already is happening. And I do that every day for 30 days. My favorite go-to prompt for this, which sometimes I use and sometimes I just let it flow as it flows out of me. But if I'm feeling a little stuck, I use the prompt, I am, I have, I feel. And I've talked about this before. I've shared this before here and on Instagram. It's my favorite journal prompt ever. So you're answering I am, I have, I feel based on that future self. So much fun and makes you feel so good and so excited for the future when you're done. And speaking of, we'll move on to number 4 because this rolls into it, which is visualization. So while I'm writing down this future self and everything that has happened and how it's all going and how we're all feeling, everything I have, everything I am, all that good stuff, I'm also visualizing it, like to the point where I can feel it in my body. I'm visualizing hitting my goals. I'm visualizing a day in the life of what that will look like, how I will respond to everything in that future version of me. I visualize it all going exactly as I want, exactly as planned, everything working out smoothly, everything flowing until I can feel it. And again, this is something that we do together in Unstuck Entrepreneur. It is so helpful, both of these, like all of this stuff. We have to reprogram our subconscious mind. We do that by repetition of visualizations, affirmations, writing out your future self. Your subconscious mind doesn't know that hasn't happened yet. It doesn't know the future. So it will start reacting in accordance to that future you, and it will make it so that it absolutely comes true. So important, so cool. I love this all so much. I hope you are getting it all too. All right, let's move on to number 5. This is a new one I don't think I've ever talked about. I don't have a to-do list. I am someone that if I have a to-do list, my natural personality and tendency is to basically power through it as quickly as I can. And then it starts me on that path again of the do type of person. So I think it's kind of my natural tendency to want to do that, but it also makes me really stressed out. Having an actual to-do list stresses me out. So I don't do it. Instead, and this is something we actually started doing in Unstuck Entrepreneur too, is we create soul goals. Every Monday, we have our soul goals for the week. And those goals are based on how you're feeling that week, what else you have going on in your life that week. If you are having a week where you have a lot of free time, or you're feeling really motivated, or you have something really important coming up and you're super excited, then your soul goals are going to be pretty intense. If you have a busy week, or if you're feeling drained, or if you need some rest time, then your soul goals might be a little less draining or time consuming for you depending on that week. And this is something I've done for myself for a long, long time. Instead of having a to-do list, I just have a list of things that kind of need to be done that week. And then I pick doing what's on my soul goal list based on how I'm feeling each day. And of course, it has to do with my schedule and my energy and where my mind's at and what feels good to work on. There's a lot that goes into deciding when I do what, but I like having that flexibility of like, yeah, by the end of the week, these things are going to get done, but I'm going to let my energy decide how it gets done. And you get so much more done when you do it that way. And you also find that you still have the free time when you feel like you need free time, rest time when you need rest time, that kind of thing. So yeah, I honestly love a good to-do list, but I just can't do it anymore. I use task management system called Asana. I put the things that, I still have, I have a business. I have things that have to get done. I put those things that need to get done in a general list, and then as the day comes, I move over from that list onto the actual day, what I'm going to do that day, and that's how I stay on track with my business without it stressing me out, and with the ability to be more fluid and free, which is really important to me in my business, and to spend enough time being instead of just doing. I love to work. I'm a worker bee. I love to work. I love my work. I love my business. I love what I do. I could absolutely work like all day minus my sleeping hours. I absolutely could, and I have before. When I allow myself to be, when I allow myself that fluidity, I have more time to not work, which is really important for my energy. So if you are someone like that, then you will potentially appreciate the non-to-do list if you're looking to make yourself not more stressed out. Number 6, gratitude. Of course, the biggest energy tool of them all is gratitude. I am grateful every moment of every day, and I am noticeably grateful. I am spending time feeling that gratitude, the gratitude for my schedule, for the people I get to work with, for what I get to do every day, every single sign up, every single time someone purchases something from me and I get that notification, I feel that sense of gratitude for them. I send out this thing into the universe of gratitude for them. So some of you, if you have purchased something from me, you may have felt that. You may have felt that gratitude coming through you from me via the universe. But yeah, every payment notification, it brings up this sense of gratitude literally every day. I'm just living in this space of gratitude because I truly love what I do. And I truly love working and waking up every day and be able to do this and being able to chat with you all on a podcast and be able to work with so many of you too. It just brings me so much joy. All right, number 7, meditation. You knew I was going to say this because you know I'm all about meditation. My daily morning meditation routine has been the glue that has kept me grounded, that reminds me of how I want to feel each and every day, how I want to feel and be in my business. It's just so grounding and cleansing for me, and it keeps me out of that go, 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 do, force, grind, stress mentality. It's the glue that does that for me. So there's just no way that anything business-wise or life-wise would have happened without my meditation practice that I've been doing now for many, many years. I'm almost to doing a full year, 365 days every single day on Insight Timer. I'm so close. I think it's like end of January, early February. So I will say that in the past few weeks, when you're listening to this, I have learned more about hypnosis and really learning that hypnosis is basically a form of meditation, and a form of meditation where we can work to reprogram that darn subconscious mind of ours. So I'm really getting into that, and that's something I'm going to start offering more in the future. Definitely 2021, you will have the opportunity to work with me in that regard. Definitely something I will be adding into Unstuck Entrepreneur 2. I think it's super fascinating and really effective. So I'm excited for that too, and to add it to my own practice as well. Number 8, act as if. This is kind of goes along with the journaling and then the visualization of our future self while we're journaling, and then taking that version of you and seeing what you can do today to start embodying that version of you now. So for example, say my goal was to have helped 100 clients with their mindset in the year 2021. That's my goal. So what would that version of me look like now? Not quite in 2021 yet, but if I already had helped 100 people, what would that look like now? Well, I'd probably be super confident in my message. I would be openly sharing education and inspiration. I'd be super excited about the future of my business and all those people I was going to be able to connect with in such a profound way. And I would just be creating all the content that I possibly could to attract and connect with those future clients. So I'd be having more classes, more programs, I'd be sending more emails, I'd be creating more freebies, all of these things. Okay, so this is obviously just a kind of hypothetical situation, but you can see that if you are doing the work to where you have written out that future version of you, and then you're visualizing it to the point where you can feel it, then the next step is really that simple. What can I do now to be and embody that person in the future, that future version of myself? What can I do today? Something I do all the time. Number 9, giving. As you may know from things I've shared in the past, generosity is the biggest gateway to your own abundance. Truly 100% accurate. And so not only that, but giving feels amazing. It is the quickest way to raise your vibration. So not only are you becoming a match for the abundance you're seeking, but you're also raising your overall vibration so that everything else starts coming into alignment based on what you are doing and what you want to come out of it. For me, as far as my business, of course, it means giving a portion of my income to various charities, depending on what's aligning with me at the time. It also means giving free content to the masses, like this podcast, like all the freebies I have, making it so that you don't have to pay to get the help that you need. Now, yes, you will get more personalized, deeper help by supporting my business and supporting my work, of course, but I do want to make sure that's available to the masses to start getting the help that you need. giving knowledge and energy and experience, just openly sharing and being willing to help others, which, hey, we all are that person, and just having the capacity to make that a priority every single day. Number 10, crystals. Crystals. This goes right along with last week's podcast with Magdalena as a guest. And she mentioned, when I asked specifically about success and for the entrepreneurs out there, she mentioned basically only one, which was citrine. And it just so happened, as she was sitting there chatting, I have citrine sitting on my desk. And so when I left that day, I took it out of the office and moved it into my home, into the left corner of my home, as she said to do. So I love citrine. I think that's super important for all entrepreneurs to have if you're interested in crystals and as far as the energy of the crystals go. I also love aventurine for entrepreneurs. Whenever I have something I have to do, like a live workshop or anything where I'm maybe feeling a little nervous, or I want to make sure that I have extra luck and extra clarity around what I'm doing, then I hold it or I have it close to my physical body, because it's really good for extra luck during a performance or something of that nature. Carnelian and tiger's eye, I also love for entrepreneurs. They are great for confidence. Something that I think a lot of business owners struggle with from time to time. So having some carnelian and tiger's eye, they're both beautiful too, which is helpful. And then the last one I recommend specifically for entrepreneurs is green calcite. And that is great for personal growth and success. So it goes along really well with the citrine as far as growth for yourself, but also financial growth and abundance as well. Number 11. Super important one, at least for me, and you may find this too if you have a similar personality. I have learned to detach from the numbers. So by this, I mean I keep the emotion out of the numbers in business. And if you already have a business, then you know there are all kinds of numbers that you can be concerned with, or that can dictate your mood or emotion for an entire day, week, month, year, all of the things. So you can get really bogged down by the numbers in a business. And I had to learn to detach from that and to keep the emotion out of it so I could really use it as a learning experience instead. Because when you put that emotion into it, then that takes over and you lose that opportunity to learn and grow from it. It's really hard to do, not going to lie, but it has been probably one of the most helpful things I've done in my business. So for instance, when I speak numbers, of course, I mean financial numbers, but this also means like the number of followers that do or don't follow you, how many people unfollow you, how many subscribers you get, how many people unsubscribe, how many downloads, likes, shares. I feel like the more social media avenues there are out there, the more opportunities there are to obsess about numbers. And I do not let myself. And it is so easy to go down the number rabbit hole and really get stuck in it and really let yourself snowball out of control when it comes to your emotions and your thoughts around it. But those numbers in and of themselves are just numbers. Yes, there is a learning opportunity there, but there is not necessarily an emotional opportunity. We create the thought that creates the emotion that's spurred by a belief. We do that, which means we have the power to not do that. And when we don't do that, then we actually have the ability to learn from it. And you can learn so much from these numbers that will help your business in the future. And we can't muddy up that learning experience just because we have this emotional connection to our numbers. So once I just started using my numbers as an opportunity to see what I could do better, what needed to be tweaked, what worked, what didn't work, and that was it. It just freed up so much of my energy to really work on what actually matters and to really make those changes to be something better, to be a better experience for those who are in my sphere, in my bubble. And that's all it is. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't get excited when I have a good outcome, I hit a goal, something like that. I do. But I do also remain unattached to it so that I can use it as a learning experience. Because even in a case where the numbers are great and you're excited and happy, there is that experience to learn what did work, what went well, and is there still something I could do even better here? So powerful to know that about your numbers instead of seeing it as saying anything about you or your business or your capability or what you're good at or not good at or if people like you or not. It's none of that. It's only a learning opportunity. Last one for today. This is really just scratching the surface. I feel like I could go on for days about this, but just to give you guys some things to think about in case you want to implement some of these in your own business, we'll stop at number 12, which is be the client you wish to attract. This is so valuable to learn and start applying ASAP in your business. And as soon as I did it for myself, so many things opened up. My attraction level for my dream client was so much higher, and I could visibly see it in the amount of people wanting to work with me. And it was simply because I started being the client I wanted to attract. And this is something we also cover in Unstuck Entrepreneur together. But what this means is think about the person that you want to work with. You probably, I don't know this for sure, this may not be true, but let's just say you want to work with people who are kind, who are reliable, who are willing to make an investment in themselves, who are willing to do their work and willing to show up for themselves and for you. If that's the kind of person that you want to work with, well, then are you being that person yourself? Are you kind to the people that you work with? Are you reliable? Are you willing to make an investment in yourself? Are you willing to do the work? So the question is, how does your dream client behave? And are you embodying that yourself, knowing that you attract what you put out, all based on energy? So for me, as my example, I personally really want to work with people that are ready to work on themselves, that are committed to the process, and that are willing to make the investment in themselves to do so. So the people that understand that the investment they're making isn't in me, it's in themselves, and they are wanting that for themselves. And so I do all of that myself. I am constantly investing money into my own development and expansion. And when I make that investment, I show up for it. I do that work. I don't just let it sit on my computer or on my desk or whatever it is and collect dust. I do that work. I show up for myself. I invest in myself. I commit to the work. I commit to wanting to get to my next level self. And because of this, I attract clients who do the same. So who are your dream clients? How do they behave? And are you also doing that yourself? Questions to ask, or at least things that I did. I guess I should end this by saying that this is what I do. Again, I did to start, and I still do over 4 years later on a very, very regular basis. Also, this is just scratching the surface. Like I said, there's so much more to it. But I hope you at least can see from this list of how you have the option to approach your business a little bit differently than what you might have been taught in the past or what you might have seen in other people. You don't have to struggle and stress and force and be overwhelmed and work tons of hours and get upset when something doesn't go your way. And just all the things that can happen in business don't have to be that way. You can come at it from a different angle where you are working on yourself. You are developing the mindset of success and freedom and flexibility, whatever you want in your business. You're working on creating that from the inside out, starting with your mind, moving on to your vibration, and then implementing a plan for your business based on that work, not based on all the strategies and the practices and what everyone else is doing and what you should be doing, but what feels good for you, knowing that when it feels good for you, others will pick up on that and they will want to be part of your circle in your business and be your client and work with you. So that's what I really wanted to get out of sharing all of this. Of course, I think it would be great for you to start implementing something new when it comes to mindset and energy tools in your business. So your homework is to take one of the things I said and try it on. Try it on whether you have a business or not. As you can see, everything I shared is also really important to do in all areas of your life. So try something new this week that you haven't done yet when it comes to your mindset and energy and see how it goes. And then if you are an entrepreneur and all of this sounds amazing and you're ready to create this new version of your business that doesn't require stress, struggle, overwhelm, go, hustle mentality, but one of flow and femininity and freedom and flexibility, I'm just going to use all the F's, and feels more in alignment with who you are and who you want to become, then you are a great candidate for the Unstuck Entrepreneur Mentorship Program that is opening only to those that are on the waitlist January 1st. Now, you can still get in if you're not on the waitlist. You just won't have the first opportunity, so the spots may already be filled, so you're taking that risk, but then you also don't get the special discount code, which will only go to those that are on the wait list. So get on that if you're not already, and this type of business sounds like something you want to create for yourself. Let's do it together forever. Remember, this does not go away. You have this course. You have access to me. You have your new biz besties who are just the best people out there. You have all of that forever. So unstuck.shawnmynar.com will get you on the wait list. If you want to just learn more about Unstuck Entrepreneur, you can head to shawnmynar.com/unstuckbiz. And lastly, I know this is getting repetitive, but just stick with me because people don't always hear things the first time. If you want free 90-minute live coaching about how to make money in your business, head to shawnmynar.com/money workshop, and we will do that together January 4th at 11 a.m. I hope you can be there live with me. I hope to see you all there. Thank you for sticking with me. I know this was a longer episode, but I hope you also have some new ideas of things to implement in your life and business. And let me know what you decide to do. You can send me a message over on Instagram at Shawn Mynar. I check my DMs regularly. It's really the best, really the only way to get a hold of me these days. So head over there and let me know. Let me know what's up, and let me know if you have any questions about any of the above. All right, everyone. Until next time, take care.